Welcome to the Healthpreneur Podcast. My name is Uriel Kame, New York Times bestselling author, former professional athlete, and founder of Healthpreneur, the world's leading company helping health and fitness experts start and scale high-end coaching businesses. If you want to attract more clients, learn how to convert them without feeling salesy, and deliver an amazing program for them on the back end, if you want to be inspired by what others just like you have gone through and how you can do the same no matter what life throws your way, then you are in the right place, because every single week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we're going to be bringing you the best to help you take your knowledge and expertise to the next level with your health or fitness coaching business. And if you enjoy what you see and hear and would like to take your business to the next level, then I invite you to check out our free online training over at healthpreneurgroup.com/training. And for now, let's get into today's episode. Welcome back to the show. Let me tell you a really long story about my life. Now, just before you turn the power button off, because you're probably thinking to yourself, dude, I don't care about your life. Just tell me the goods. Just tell me what you got to tell me that's going to benefit me. Well, that's the core message I want to share with you in today's episode. We're talking about the 6th client activator. This is the final of the 3 activators in the message pillar. And this activator is called empathetic. So your messaging needs to be empathetic. The previous 2 episodes, we looked at, the last episode we talked about your messaging needs to be vivid. Previous one to that, we looked at your messaging needs to be clear. And this final one is your messaging needs to be empathetic. So clear, vivid, and empathetic, those are the 3 activators in the message pillar. What this means, so for instance, on the worst side of the spectrum, and again, if you don't have the scorecard yet, go over to healthpreneurgroup.com/scorecard, download this bad boy today. Get your score, see where the leaks are. I'll show you how to fix them. So if we look at the worst side of the spectrum in terms of the empathy side of things, the statement says your message is all about you, your story, and or your offer. It screams self-promotion. This is rampant in the health, wellness, and fitness space. I've got this amazing thing. I've spent so many hours developing it. It's got 500 videos, and I don't care. It's really sad, but no one cares. I learned this the hard way. 7 years ago, I think, I built a program called Super Nutrition Academy, which was amazing, I thought. I spent 1,000 hours building a nutrition education platform, pretty much, for the average person. So we actually built out a certification. You can get CEUs on it, the whole bit. It's amazing. It's like going back to nutrition school, but for the average person. So I took all the stuff that people need to know around nutrition, distilled it down. It was research-backed, but still very simple, and that became the course. So 1,000 hours, I built this thing, and I'm thinking this is the best thing since sliced bread. And the whole promise was like, it's a 4-year college degree in nutrition and 1 hour per week. Pretty cool promise, but no one cares about learning stuff. They just want to lose weight. And that'll come into we'll talk about the magic in the next 3 episodes. So when we come to offer, that would have been nice to know back in the day. So anyways, like, had I known this stuff back then, I would have saved myself a lot of time. But one of the things I see a lot of people do is what I did is like my whole messaging was, I was so excited about it because I had spent so much time doing it. And we get so close and wrapped up in our own stuff that we forget that no one cares about our stuff. What they care about is their problem. That's really important. I was speaking to a lady on the phone a couple months ago. She was recommended to me from someone else, and she said she had a book out. And I said, okay, like, what's the book all about? She's like, it's everything I've ever learned. It's 600 pages. I'm like, who is it for? It's for everyone. I talk with protocols for every single condition. I'm like, shit, this is going to be a tough one to sell. And the reality is that, like, as I'm listening to her talk, it was all about her. Right? It was all about her and her knowledge and her expertise. And this is a very slippery slope that as an expert, you can slide down very quickly. This is the dilemma of being an expert, is that you get so caught up in your expertise that you forget what problem you're solving. It's almost like we just want to verbal diarrhea everything we know and assume people want it. And the reality is they don't. They don't. People have a problem like, I have 40 pounds to lose. Just give me a friggin' pill. I don't care how the body works. I don't care how digestion impacts, leptin, and like just tell me the pill or tell me what to do and I'm going to do it. Everything else, maybe down the road, I'll learn that. But for now, I just want the result. So your message needs to be catered to empathizing with your prospects. So if we look at the far right end of the spectrum on the scorecard, the statement says your message is centered around your prospect's major fear, frustration, or desire. You've shown the ability to imagine what they might be thinking, feeling, or experiencing. They feel like you are in their head. And when you hear people talk about, I watched your thing or I read your thing and it felt like you were in my head, that is when you know your messaging is dialed in. Because if you do this properly, you're naturally incorporating clarity and vividness in your message. And when it's empathetic, people can see themselves. The key word is see themselves in that message, in that story. So what I just read to you is essentially the encapsulation of a really powerful message. Is it talks about the fears, frustrations, or desires of your perfect client, and not about you. Now you can share your story and share it in a way where the client sees themselves in your journey. And this is actually one of the secrets to running Facebook ads is you can't say, looking to lose weight, can't lose those last 20 pounds. You can't say that stuff because Facebook will shut you down because it's just against their policies of making people feel bad. So how do we get around that? Well, part of it is sharing your story. And you share your story in such a way where the random people on their newsfeed are like, man, that's exactly what I'm going through. That's exactly what's going on in my life. Right? So it's not about, hey, I'm so cool, I did all this cool stuff, da 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 da. It's you're painting a picture of the prospect, but you might be sharing it through your story. Or if you're not on Facebook ads and you're just talking on video or you're writing a message that's going out in an email, it's all about them. One of my first mastermind clients, Amanda, right? Amanda Trust, who runs Fast Way to Fat Loss, doing more than $1 million a month, huge business. When we first started working together, I was looking at her initial webpage for Fast Way to Fat Loss. And one of the first things I noticed was that the first, 1/3 of the entire page was all about the prospect. And you know why? You know how I knew that? Was every single sentence started with the word you. You are here because inserts, desire, whatever. You've done your best to da 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 da. You've tried everything to without, and it just went on. And I'm like, that's the way to do it. That's why people resonate with it. But on the flip side, I see websites that are, I do this. I'm an expert in this. And everyone's like, who cares? Who cares? You're cool, whatever. Tell me how am I being helped here? Remember, the only radio station you should be tuning into is WIIFM. And that's what your prospects are tuned into. So you need to get on the same wavelength. And WIIFM stands for what's in it for me. So everything you do is about them. And yes, you can share a story, but just always just keep this in mind. Like, am I talking about myself all the time here? Have I gone off on a 20-minute tangent about like my own stuff, or is it all about them? And I think this comes back to social cues. I've got one of my best friends from when I was young. We don't see each other that much anymore, but when we do, it's the same story he keeps telling over and over and over again. So he is pulled more from the past than he is to the future. And that's why I don't hang out with him too much. By the way, you want to be hanging out with people who are pulled towards the future more than pulled toward the past. But here's the thing is that if we're at a gathering, barbecue, dinner, whatever, and everyone knows him, right? We're all good friends. It's like, dude, don't tell us that same story about like whoever, or that time in Texas when this happened, because we've all heard it. But the funny thing is he doesn't get it, right? He doesn't clue in to the social cues of people being like, I got to go to the bathroom. Or they're going to pick up their phone when no one's called them and fake answer the phone just to get out of the conversation. So don't be that person who doesn't pick up on the social cues. Be the person who is obsessed with understanding what your market is going through. I shot a video a while ago called the one-word marketing plan. And the one-word marketing plan is empathy. If all of your marketing is based around what your perfect clients are going through, you're doing a pretty good job, right? And I think that that's important to think about, because if your stuff is being put out into the marketplace and no one's responding to it, well, it could be that they just don't see what's in it for them. So empathy is really, really important. So how do you do this? Well, here's the good thing, is that health, fitness, wellness experts usually come when you're building a business online, you've probably already got some degree of experience coaching clients offline. So when I started online, I'd been training and seeing clients for 7 years in person. Do I need to run surveys? No, dude. You've got 7 years of face-to-face client interaction. Now, if you have zero idea what your clients are dealing with, then that's on you. Maybe you should show a bit of interest in what they're going through. What are the challenges? What's keeping them up at night? And you got to jot this stuff down, man. You got to keep notes on this stuff, because everything that comes out of their mouth is marketing gold. And we're not using it in a way to manipulate people. We're just saying, tell me what you're going through. Tell me what you're struggling with. Tell me what's going on in your head. What's keeping you up at night? Where do you want to be 5 years from now? What do you want to see when you look in the mirror? All of this stuff. This is like human to human interaction type stuff. You see, most internet marketers have zero background in those types of interactions, and therefore they're having to figure out, what do my clients want? Because I don't even know them. So they're running surveys and doing all sorts of stuff. But you have an unfair advantage if you're coming from a clinical setting where you worked with patients, or you have your own gym, or you just saw people virtually one-on-one on Zoom, for instance. Hey, that's all the intel you need, assuming you've gotten deep enough to find the intel. And that becomes the foundation of all of your messaging. And I promise you, if you build your messaging around your clients, everything's going to change in your business, okay? So that is empathy with respect to the message pillar. Next 3 episodes, we're going to finish up this whole talk about the Client Activator scorecard. We're going to go into the magic, which is the final pillar of this triad of influence. That's what I call it, market message magic. As I've mentioned before, if you don't have all 9 activators, so each pillar has 3 activators, right? If all 9 of the activators are not dialed in, your messaging, not just your messaging, but your conversions ultimately are going to suffer. So the next 3 episodes, I mean, I can't say they're more important, because every single one of the things we've talked about is very important. But these next 3 episodes are probably where I see people drop the ball the most. And it comes down to the magic. What is the magic? Well, we'll talk about that in the next episode. So for now, if you haven't downloaded the scorecard, head on over to healthpreneurgroup.com/scorecard. Download it, fill it in, get your score. Attend the deep dive training. That's a free bonus for you. That goes along with the scorecard. And for now, thanks so much for tuning in. Hope this makes sense. I look forward to seeing you in the next episode, where we're going to dive into the 3rd pillar called magic. And we'll start looking at the first activator in that pillar to help you make your offers much more compelling. I'll see you then. Hey, thanks so much for joining us on this episode of the Healthpreneur Podcast. If you've enjoyed this episode, here's what I'd like you to do right now. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the Healthpreneur Podcast on iTunes. And while you're there, leave us a rating or review. It helps us get in front of more people and change more lives. And if you're ready to start or scale your health or fitness coaching business and want to start getting in front of more people, working with them at a higher level without trading time for money, then I invite you to check out our free 7-figure health business blueprint training, totally free right now. And you can do so at healthpreneurgroup.com/training. For now, thank you so much for joining us. Continue to be great, do great, and I look forward to seeing you in the next episode.